Hi and good afternoon, everyone. Yo me llamo Alberto. Mucho gusto. Yo creo es un buen día porque yo tengo un trabajo ahora y a las 4 yo entro para con mi trabajo. Está muy bien. I really hope that you guys are doing well. This is Vlogs About Nothing. My name is Albert. If you're new to the channel, I really appreciate you joining me. You're catching me kind of in the middle of, I don't know, my rendition of an introduction in Spanish. I'm gonna need that Rosetta Stone to brush up on some stuff, but I do know how to conjugate a verb, so I guess if I really thought hard about how to speak that language in all of its beauty, I would definitely do that. So yeah, where's Rosetta Stone at? Not to mention that, if you're new to the channel, I did in fact incorporate a new caricaturization of what I perceive the government should do. And I know this is just kind of a quick weird sidebar, but follow me. So my theory now in life is that we all have to be beholden to Uncle Sam. Whether we like it or not, the big guy's our uncle. He will always be our uncle. He's an immortal uncle that is kind of a touchy guy. He's a touchy guy to say the least. Since this country's been since it's been around, it's gone through a lot of different changes. We've gone from presidents that have teeth, wood for teeth, to presidents that have hosted reality television shows. America is quite the experiment. And so Uncle Sam, being emblematic or being symbolic of our country, I say this: what's better than having one rich uncle? Having two rich uncles. And so, my idea is that while it may anger a lot of people and I identify as a straight man, I am in fact advocating for Uncle Sam to be homosexual and to have a husband and for his husband name to be Anthony. And again, the argument with all just dark humor, you feel me? I don't really want to get y'all upset, but it's really cool. Again, the only thing better than having one rich uncle is having two rich uncles. So keep that in mind, as we move into the future and we kind of want to have a lighthearted jab at good old Uncle Sam there. Because we don't know the backstory of Uncle Sam, and this has been my argument. Until we know exactly who Uncle Sam is, we can't assume that he's straight or gay or identifies as any gender. I mean, it needs to be cleared up. I've said this before. Like the Kool-Aid Man, I need some backstory on what exactly Uncle Sam is about. You feel me? Or just more or less, like, who are his parents? Where did he come from? Is this like an Anakin Skywalker situation? Is Uncle Sam an immaculate conceived deity? Is that who you are, Uncle Sam? I want to know. Anyways, I just can talk about that so much. It's insane, but I just have so much fun with it. Regardless, so much so that I want to publish a book, and I've thought about this, and it kind of not be received well, I think, because a lot of people, including my fellow Christians out there, my good old evangelical folk, they're gonna, want to shame me and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm so sorry. Anyways, tonight or today, let's talk about car ownership. Link in the description below to the video that I'm discussing or that I'm reacting to. And mostly all the videos that I highlight like this are videos that I really find very informative. I never bash on anything. I mean, I'm an IRL streamer. If you have the unfortunate sort of privilege of, I don't know. I just sometimes, anyways. I was trying to go somewhere good with that joke, and I thought I was doing good on the video, but I'm just gonna move forward and let's continue to talk about car ownership. So, car ownership is something that has, I think, for the last 2 years, really plagued a lot of a lot of like automobile owners. In that, car payments are expensive, and take it from somebody who had to voluntarily surrender his car. In that, I had a car and I was paying, I think, 600 and something dollars a month. And I had been good on that payment for like a little over a year and a half, I think, before I began to default and stuff. But nonetheless, I find that, based on a lot of the things that I'm seeing and stuff, I wasn't the only one who got bamboozled in pandemic time to get a car financed for me that honestly I didn't really ever think I'd get financed, but I somehow did. And, this was obviously vetted because of income and salary, income requirements and stuff. But I just always thought it was kind of odd that, like, they let me trade in my car that I owned, which was a PT Cruiser, for and a $200 down payment in cash for like this car that was typically really marked at, like, I don't know, 18 to 22,000 new, but they sold it to me at a tag price of like 34 racks. That's the tag price, so that's not including the loan, like with the interest on it. So if you can imagine, like, paperwork exists that said I was going to be paying somewhere around $70,000 for a 2019, 2017 Hyundai Elantra or something. Like, it was like pretty intense, and so from somebody again who no longer has the vehicle as a result of, like, not being able to afford close to $700 a month in a car payment, plus the insurance, plus the fact that I haven't had a job in forever. And even when I was doing DoorDash, I was, going through an existential midlife crisis. So, I mean, there's, I guess, no room for error in life, because the moment that you make an error, like, you really get, like, messed up, you know what I mean? Which is why when you hear people talk about in this country living paycheck to paycheck, it's like a real thing. Like, it's a real thing, and not even a large percentage of Americans have $500 in case of an emergency. That's like a luxury that even people who have six-figure salary jobs don't seem to have, which is weird because you'd think they would. However, they're often most often the people that owe the most amount of money to begin with. And so that's just because I don't think people realize how expensive things are in this country. For a single person, it can be upwards of, like, I mean, minus rent. If your rent lowball is at $1,000 a month and you're living by yourself, there's 12 months in a year. That's 12 racks a year just on rent. And that's if you're lucky and if you can find a place for $1,000 bucks. That's not including utilities, nothing like that. You throw food and stuff in there. I mean, holy potatoes, this stuff starts to add up real quick, and quickly you begin to understand that owning a car is extremely expensive. It is so expensive that currently now there are more cars in repossession status than there has ever been. There's a plethora of backstocked trucks that are marked at 80 racks and above at your local car dealership, and they're not moving. They're not selling because people don't have that kind of money to spend on a vehicle. They're still stuck in the previous debt trap that people like myself got into in the pandemic era, when people, like, dealerships were literally putting the sticker price up by, in some instances, like I just had explained mine, $10,000. Like, so, and to think that I'm not the only dude. Like, literally, there were thousands of other people who got this same kind of package deal that have either had to surrender their vehicles, or they currently are being sought for repossession, or they are currently working, sometimes even out of those vehicles, to pay that car payment. And I would know because I also did that when I was out of town and found myself in a situation where before at least I could afford to stay at a cheap Motel 6, and now it was either car or having a room to stay in while I went to work. And, couldn't afford both. So it's a big deal. Like, owning a car has never been more expensive. Not ever. Especially with the new cars, in that they're specifically made for OEM maintenance, and a lot of the time there aren't even techs or mechanics at the dealerships that certify OEM assistance or service. So you can't even, sometimes in certain instances, you can't even get your brand new car serviced at your dealership where it's supposed to be, because there's nobody at the dealership that's certified, because there's really not an incentivization to become certified so quickly to work on new cars. It's pretty crazy. The car bubble is something that not a lot of people, I feel like, give enough attention to, but I guess it's one of those things that's unlike a home, in that the worst the banks can do is obviously pay repo people to come jack your car, sell it at an auction, and it's just going to end up back at some dealership. For I mean, It's weird how it works, but inevitably prices will be driven down. There will be cars, the new cars won't be, new trucks aren't going to be $80,000. There's no reason for a new truck to be $80,000. The stuff that it's made with today is, in fact, a heck of a lot cheaper than, a real truck that was like made in the 70s and 80s by your good old union workers that were both obviously and notably Ford and or Chevy. So, those are still the trucks that you see out on the road. I mean, to this day, grandpas drive these trucks. Great grandpas drive these trucks. Young people that inherit these trucks drive these trucks. I just I'm just saying, owning a car is really expensive and it's not like it used to be. You can't change your own oil anymore, and even if you tried, a lot of times the manufacturer will void the warranty because again, they want their vehicle serviced at their place, which goes to show you that even when you own a vehicle, you don't really own it, at least not in the modern economy. It is not yours. It is yours in a sense that you paid for it, but the moment that it stops working, even though you're still paying for it, it really isn't belonging to you because you can't just put it in your garage and fix it. I mean, everyone knows the kind of little loophole with the Cybertruck. You were able to buy a Cybertruck, but you can't sell it for a year? Like, I mean, from the advocate of private property over here, Mr. Musk himself, the guy that like advocates for, I mean, the richest guy on the planet, the single most individual guy on the planet, right? This guy is saying that he'll sell you a car, but you can't resell it. What is that? Like, I can imagine what would happen if Chevy and Ford tomorrow made an announcement that said, hey, starting tomorrow, we're not going to allow you to resell any of our trucks for at least a year. Like, people would go crazy. That's a crazy idea. You telling me what I can and can't do with my truck? Mr. Musk, I just paid $100,000 for this truck. Like, and you're telling me that, like, I can't get it serviced anywhere? I gotta follow all these rules. It's really not even mine, and I can't because I can't resell it. Like, if I try to resell it, you're gonna ban me from ever buying any Tesla product ever again. Like, what is this? Is this like low level entry Ferrari service, which is again a super insult to Ferrari, moreover than it is a joke because we all know that a lot of these Italian best makers of cars. I'm a huge Ferrari fan. I love Ferrari. Love Ferrari. Who doesn't love Ferrari? I've had the privilege of being in a Ferrari. I really like I love Ferraris. Man, if you've ever been in like a Mercedes Benz, think of that, but like way better. Riding in a Benz is cool. A Beamer's a nice ride. A Lexus is honestly terrible. Out of all of them, the Lexus is a terrible ride. I'm sorry to all my Toyota fans out there, seeing as though Lexus is a part of Toyota. But anyways, I hope that you guys have a really good day. Watch the video and the link in the description. Consider dropping them a sub, and we'll see you soon. Bye.